Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today we're going to do a character guide on Braska, and actually I don't think I even have a character guide on this guy on my channel, so I really wanted to make sure I get one out. Your boy's still shaking a little bit after those summons, so if you don't know what happened, you gotta check out the summon video. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. So in this video, we're going to talk about Braska. We're going to look at his artifacts, his spheres, and his calls. If you're not familiar with Braska, he is a big-time healer, force-charging character that deals fire damage. If you got his BT, he actually can put out some pretty good damage with an off-turn attack that he has that, like, every time he takes a turn, he gets a really big attack. So we're going to kind of check out all of that in this video, right? So let's go ahead and start with the calls. His calls are okay. I think notably, you know, his 15, he has Curaga, which is a burst heal. So anytime you can get a burst heal on a call, I think there is some value in that. And then the LD call, it's just going to be a party brave damage up, HP damage up, and overflow up, and then it does put a fire imperil down on the enemies. Not the craziest, right? Just a few stats and an imperil. If you're bringing this just because you want like a nice healing call, right? But really, if you're going for Braska, you do want him as like a nice support character you could use in the party, and he's got Echo, so that's a really nice plus as well. He does the things you want out of a support, right? He's got battery, he's got healing, he's got Echo. So yeah, and if you get the BT, he's even going to have like some nice damage to follow up. Now, he's definitely not as good as, say, like Garnet or Aerith, because his follow-up only happens when he takes a turn. What I like about Garnet and Aerith is there's just build up, and you could spam turns with other characters, and you're just popping off turns, right? But I'm really curious because I literally have not used this guy since his initial FR drop, which was ages ago. This is one of the oldest characters that was needing a rework since the FR era, so it's really nice to see him get it. So let's go ahead. We're just going to hop in and take a look at them after we look at the artifacts and spheres, right? So artifacts, I think there's two ways you can go with his artifacts. You for sure want the C50, which is Vanquisher of Sin up. So that is going to be a party-wide Max Brave and attack up. So that for sure is a must. But for the other one, I would say either go attack 108 or you go Max Brave 330. Max Brave is going to help the battery because he does a lot of battery that scales on Max Brave. Attack is going to help the damage. So I kind of did a mix. I did 2 attacks and 1 Max Brave 330. I may change it and go more Max Brave, but we'll see. I kind of feel like his damage is going to be looking a lot better now, so we're going to see what that looks like. And then for spheres, I would say A slot, just do like a damage sphere, so attack or brave damage. I decided to go with Aerith. I feel like Aerith just fits the mold of what he's doing because he's a healer. He wants to be at full HP, very easy trigger, and it's a magic attack up. If you go full air sphere, it's a 15% attack up, which is pretty good. I would say Lud or Maria are probably the best C slots. Those are healing triggers that are going to give you party attack. And then on the D slot, I think Iris, I got it. I can't forget about Iris. Iris is a very good C slot too. And then on the D slot, just do any attack up one. So, I just have Ash on mine, which is just a party attack up. Obviously, like Hope would probably, if you're really looking best in slot on him, it's probably going to be Hope because that's going to be attack Max Brave on a buff trigger, which is very easy for him to hit, right? So something like this would work out just fine. It's kind of a pretty standard setup for spheres. With that, let's go ahead and hop into the showcase, see how my boy Braska is doing. I'm all of a sudden very excited about Braska because, once again, watch my summon video, but things happened that I did not expect to happen, and now we're going to have like a fairly maxed out Braska. So that's kind of how it goes. I'm not really going to use the friend unit here. So we'll just go. I guess we're downloading, I suppose, because Braska's got some hypeness. It's my first time using him in battle. Since the rework, so I'm sure that's what it's downloading. Alright, so the first thing you're going to notice about Braska is he does have an overhead that's just chilling at 0. This is called Overdrive, and he just has this. It's not like a buff that ever goes away. He just always has it. And what happens is every time he takes a turn, it's going to go up a stack. And it maxes out at 5 stacks. What this buff does is it gives him an attack and overflow stolen up, Max Brave up, and then when he reaches the 5th stack, he's going to get an auto EX full charge. It's going to upgrade his EX and LD to their plus versions, which you want. And then it's going to go back to 0 stacks after going past 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start with a typical Garnet start here. The typical Garnet flow. We're going to do that. We're going to AA, and then we're just going to BT effect. And sure, let's even throw down... Oh, I don't have Raijin on this build. That's fine. We'll just BT effect. So, yeah, this is going to be a pretty easy showcase because Braska, like, he's a ramp character. So I can just sit and kind of ramp with him. I can ramp with Aerith. We can get into force pretty quickly. But I do kind of like looking at the numbers without force gauge a little bit first, just to kind of see what the character's looking like a little bit, right? So the thing you can do with Braska is you can... Kiraga is going to be like his main spam attack. So you can see his turn just started, he gained a stack. So right before he takes his turn, he gets a stack. Now he's going to get his EX for free at the beginning, so I would just pop that right away, even though it's not the plus version. So let's see what the non-plus version is. This is called Ultimate Jack Shot. Okay, so the big Ject coming down. And let's see what the damage looks like here. And just remember, this is not the plus version. Okay, about a mil. So kind of standard-ish damage, right? And once again, he's a support healer, so anything that has good damage is going to be a bonus, right? So it's going to be a Brave gain scaled on Max Brave, AoE attack. And he gets a free ability use on his next turn, and then it does do a Fire Imperil, right? So as next turn, the reason why opening with the EX is good is because then... Hold on, let me get Garnet, or let me get Aerith Holy up here. It's good to open with the EX and get the free skill use, because then on the free skill use, you can always use Kiraga, which is the force charging move. And as you're doing the force charging move, it is upping his overhead to help build that up to then do the plus version of the EX or the LD. So we'll make sure on the next EX use, we'll try to get the plus version, because I'm assuming the damage is going to look a lot better on that, right? All right, Garnet, we don't need to do anything special with you. Can just do an attack. And then we will try to get into a Braska Force Time and maybe do a Braska BT phase and just kind of show off what he's doing there. I don't think Braska is ever the character you're going to want for you. I mean, if you have the BT, his BT phase is probably decent, honestly, with like the overhead. But yeah, if he doesn't have BT, you're for sure using other characters, right? So free skill use, you definitely want to pop Kiraga, because you can see 7 uses actually isn't a ton. But because you're getting a free skill use with every EX, you can ramp and get a lot of free skill uses that way, right? So Kiraga, you can see we can just hit this a couple times and ramp. What we'll do in between, though, is we'll do some other attacks, right? So we're up to 4 turns. Let's do Ultima, which is the 35. Let's check out this one. Alright, so about a mil AoE. That's solid, right? Once again, for a support character, we'll take it. Like I said, about a mil, like a mil to 1.5 is kind of what you expect as standard damage on most buttons, right? So it's going to do a battery scale on Max Brave, big AoE attack. He's going to get a buff called Journey to save Spira. He also gets this on Kiraga, so I forgot to mention. So this buff is on both of the moves we've seen, the 15 and 35. It is just a party attack and Max Brave up. So pretty simple buff right there, right? Okay, so now let's back to Aerith. Aerith needs to ramp a little bit to get her overhead. All right, let's just do one more ramp and then we'll pass turn. We'll definitely take the overhead damage. All right, and then let's go ahead and hit a Steel Evil. Make sure the enemies aren't being too crazy on us here. All right, now Braska's next turn, we are going to be on turn 5. So I kind of want to do the EX again. And then what we can do is we can just ramp into an LD and then just show the LD, right? I think that's what we're going to do. Let's just Aquamarine here. All right, so Braska now is Overdrive is at 5, and it says Ject Overdrive at the top, right? So now the EX turns into Ultimate Ject Shot, so let's hit that. So the plus version, remember the first time we did it, it was about a mil. Let's see what the plus version is looking like here. Okay, 1.9, so it almost doubled. 2 mil AoE now is very good on an EX. Now you see his Overdrive did reset to 0. But coming out of the next turn, we're going to have a free skill use to start ramping again. So let's go ahead and Aerith is fine. We'll just Fury Brand. All right, I want to get back to Braska. Of course, he's like way back there being very slow. And we're going to get in a situation where we're going to blow these guys up if we're not careful here. Aquamarine. I would like to just ramp up and just see one LD, but then I'm worried that, well, no, Braska's coming up pretty close. Let's see where Aerith ends up. Okay. I don't know. I might need to go to FR because I don't know that I want these guys to hit their FR. Alright, so if I can go Braska and then 2 more turns. But we're only at turn 1, so we're going to Kiraga. So that's going to ramp and try to get us. What I think I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to FR. And then we'll just see the LD as we like naturally get to it, I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's what we're going to do. Oh, we have the BT effect to put up as well. Let's just do the FR first, then we'll do BT effect, show all day, we'll do all that stuff. So let's do mixture powder here. Mid-Italian, man, this is ancient. I think Braska's literally like the second FR character ever released. I think it was Kane and then him, if I remember right. Okay, 1.5 mil on the FR. Now, the nice thing is these old FR characters coming back, they do get reworks with the boards, right? So the FR conditions are a lot better. So it's going to do a battery that actually scales on eye brave for this one, and it's going to heal the party. AoE fire attack. And then the HP damage conditions. If you do a fire ability, it's 30%. If you have full HP on turn or more, it's 40%. So if you have full HP and you do fire damage, it's 70%. Pretty basic. Now, Garnet here isn't going to do much with it because she's got other elements. And Braska, he will enchant for fire, but we need the BT effect up. So Aerith won't look as good here either. But the full HP will still trigger. So I think these echoes won't be the worst. So let's do an echo. And I think we're going to do an Aerith double echo. And then Braska's probably just going to have to jump into BT phase before the enemies die. Alright. Oh, but I need Braska's BT effect up. I think double echoing here is going to be overkill. Because we have to do his BT effect up before we go into burst phase. So who knows? Maybe we just won't get a burst phase. I do kind of want to echo to make his damage look good, but we will pass turn. Because this BT effect will this BT attack will one shot if our gauge is ridiculously high, and we're doing all the off turn, right? Plus, I want to look at Braska's off turn, and we need the BT effect up. I probably should have put it up a little bit earlier, but that's okay. Alright, so Braska, let's get the BT. This is called Final Jet Shot. The big thing that this BT effect is going to get is he is going to initiate an attack on his turn. An extra off-turn attack. He loves abusing the giant eject. That is fantastic. Alright, that looked like it was about 2.6 mil, but we've got percentage, right? So that isn't the normal damage. Alright, eject beam, this is it right here. So this comes from his BT. And that just did 2 mil AoE. Okay, pretty good right there. So the BT effect did the big attack. It triggers Eject Shot. It's after his turn. So at the end of every turn, he's going to get Eject Beam. It is going to now fire enchant the party. So now Garnet still won't get it because she's got Water and Thunder. But Aerith is non-elemental. So I think Aerith should get the fire now. Brave gain up, Brave damage limit up, HP damage up, and HP damage limit up. So it's very, very basic BT auras there. Echoing here is probably foolish. So I'm actually just going to Brave attack. Keep these enemies alive as long as possible. Oh, and yeah, her HP wasn't full, so we got really bad gains there. Yeah, on a fight with poison, his FR probably isn't the one to use. Well, let's put it that way, because yeah, the poison there is going to be so unless we heal on the attack, we're not going to get it. This is fine. We're not doing a damage test. I'm not going to worry about optimizing. So sure, let's just go ahead and do this. I don't care if the FR gauge is crazy low or whatever. Okay, we did at least get the fire damage requirement there, though, so that's good. Alright, so I think we need to just go into eject burst phase so that we're free to just rack on the enemies here. But we have everything up right now, so that's good. Alright, so let's go into a burst phase. We need to get one more attack in before we're on turn 5. So, sure, let's go ahead and let's just do a regular Ultima. And then that should put us up to Overdrive status. And then we should be getting follow-ups here as well. So we've got that, and then, yeah, Eject Beam's dropping down. I mean, the Eject Beam damage is solid. It definitely helps him deal more damage, right? But he's not Yuffie level, I can tell you that right now. He's there to be a good support character. All right, so the plus version, let's hit this LD. This is Ject Bomber. Okay, so 5.6 mil, and then we get the... But when you combo with the Ject Beam, right? So that was 5.6 plus about another 3. I mean, that was almost 10 mil he did there at a fairly low percent. So when you combine all the damage, it's pretty solid, right? So Ject Bomber is going to be a Brave gain scaled on Max Brave, a Fire, Brave, and HP attack. And then he gets Resolute Final Summoning as a buff, and then it's going to put a Fire Resist down. And I do want to note something about the plus version of the LD. I'll get to that in a second. But the Resolute Final Summoning, that is going to self-fire enchant, HP damage up, party HP damage and overflow up, and then Brave damage up. Now, the thing with his LD, I think his EX, like, you have to be on turn 5. Like, right now, if I went to the EX... oh, he does get it both. Okay, so what it is when you hit turn 5, so I kind of misread that a little bit, but when you hit Overdrive 5, you just get a plus version of the EX and LD to use. You don't have to use it on turn 5. So then they're just there, so you want to make sure you use them both up before you hit 5 again on your Overdrive, and then they're going to refresh and go back to the plus version. So right now, even though we're on turn 1 of the Overdrive, we still have Ultimate Ject Shot Plus because it charged back up to the plus version. So the way it works is Overdrive hits 5, the EX and LD get the plus version, and you keep them until you use them once. Then once you get Overdrive to 5 again, they will revert back to the plus version if you have used them. So every time you hit Overdrive, make sure you use them before your next Overdrive hits. Because those are pretty good on the plus version there, right? But otherwise, that's basically Ject, right? I mean, look, let's pop the heal, sure. We'll do the burst phase heal there. Look at that, big fat burst heal. It was nice to see us at low health, just so you can see, like, how crazy the burst healing is there, right? So the one positive about Ject is, like, or not Ject, but Braska, it's like he's a character that if he's in your party, you're not really going to be at risk of missing the HP requirement, provided he just gets a turn before you finish the fight. He's got a very powerful burst heal, so I do like that about Braska, right? So anyways, guys, let me know what you think of Braska. But yeah, the Ject Beam's doing some damage here. How much on that one? So about 4.5 mil. And then, you know, those all following up. Dude, look at that. Triple follow-ups with Aerith and Garnet. Just blowing this guy up. Pretty dang good. Sure, what do we got left? We got just a Curara. We'll just do an HP plus attack, sure. Alright, and then we're going to finish off with the BT attack. I don't think this is a character I'm going to do a damage test on. For sure not. People have been asking me to do another damage test on Rex now that I have Crystal Room. My thought is it's kind of foolish to like redo those like when I'm mid Crystal Room, but when I finish my Crystal Room, I will consider like redoing some damage tests. Like if I'm done, if I finish the Red Room and Rex is still like relevant as a damage dealer, I might redo that guide for sure. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think of Braska. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.